Attracted a few ducks as well, this whole gaggle of them. I stood there feeding them whilst Paul was touching up the side of the boat with paint, not just touching, with his brush. I can't remember what the bridge number was. Was it 132 we just went under a little while ago? This should be 131 or 130. This is Bridal Bridge. It's a little wooden bridge footpathy thing that goes over the canal. I don't know who the bride was.
Actually, it's the wedding bridge, not the bridal bridge, and after extensive research we're still unclear as to why it is called this.
Maybe it's just called that because it's a lovely place to do photographs. I'm not even certain there's a church or anything near here. It looks like farm buildings. There is an inscription on the bridge. That's right into the sun now, isn't it? I hadn't realised that. We've gone round and you've got the sun behind us, so picture quality on this vlog isn't going to be fantastic, is it? At least the sound quality is. Well, I hope it is. I hope this is recording. Actually, there is a big house up there. It looks a bit bigger than a farmhouse. I'm going to have to look it up. I'll look it up. I'll find out why that's the Bridal Bridge. Could be that there's a church down that way and they've gone up to the manor house up that way.
Nope, nothing like that at all. The manor house and church are both on the same side of the canal.
This hedgerow, this side, looks as though it's been coppiced, so it's been grown and it's been cut, and it's grown and it's cut. Normally find places that do that somewhere nearby is producing charcoal. So again, I'll have a look and see if there's anything in the records. There's that red kite. You can't see it from there, but I can see it from here. I'm not going to grab my phone because it's gone. It's you sort of see it over the top of the hedgerow and then it dips down below. We're up a hill here. It is a contour canal to South Oxford, so it's following a line around a hill, or the contour of the land around a hill, rather than up and down all the time. The same thing as I think they call it the North Oxford, which is just the other side of Braunston going up. But I think that was straightened out. By one of the engineers. I'll let the voiceover say something about the North Oxford being straightened out.
Yes, the Oxford Canal was originally built as a contour canal, which meant that the canal followed a very winding route through the countryside. So although the distance between Coventry and Knapton was only 16 miles as the crow flies, the distance by the original route of the canal was 43 miles. This mattered little when the Oxford Canal had no competition. However, with increased canal competition from the Grand Junction Canal and one eye on the developing railway network, the company decided to straighten the route.
Okay, we've got a corner coming up. Yeah, yet another corner, yeah. Oh, and it's a bridge.
The work to straighten the canal was carried out between 1831 and 1834, the majority of the work being in the Rugby area, and this reduced the distance of the canal by 14 3/4 miles. The old line of the canal was either abandoned or remained in use as arms serving various village wharves. the section south of Knapton was never straightened.
Right, this is Bridge 131. So the Bridal Bridge must have been 131A. It's a bit of a hairpin bend, this. So, like I said, contour. We're following the lay of the land around the hill. Come on. Oh, I'm up against some silt. There we go. Back to the middle. Right, the sun's up there now. Seen lots of, I'm going to call them swifts, because that's what I think they are. Not enough for a complete full murmuration sort of thing, but there's lots of them around. There's lots of bugs and flies and things around the canal. And they seem to like dipping down, flying over the boats and grabbing at bits and pieces, but there's an awful lot of them around. At the minute they're flying above the boat just in front of it, so as we go around the corner hopefully you will see this bush here that I'm about to go past is full of them, but they're taking off as I come round. Bloody noisy boat. They'll be back. You'll probably not see a thing. I'm just making it all up. Yeah, not a dicky bird. It still isn't. Oh, I don't believe that. Hundreds of them. Maybe 20, 30. Not a huge number. Go on. Oh, sorry, that's tickled me. They were there as we were approaching and they've all flown off. Brilliant. If you'd been facing the other way, you'd just seen them. I don't think my video editing skills are that good for me to put fake ones in. I can't. I'm sure a bit later we'll find some more. It's like the red kite. Never saw it. Never happened. That's what they say, isn't it? Where is everybody? There is some moorings around the corner because we're on my left, your right. There is a mast radio. I think it's radio. It doesn't seem to be anything at the top of it actually. There is a mast. There's lines running up it. Let's call it an aerial mast. And there were moorings along this section. There's a little bit of arm coasters coming up. But there was a longer stretch of moored boats. Just round the corner. Yeah, I know. I'm going to stop looking. It's okay. It's a good temperature. Paranoid. Absolutely paranoid about it. Till I was you. It's quite peaceful up here, isn't it? At the minute. We're going to go passing through where HS2 is going to come ploughing across the countryside. But that would just be train noise, wouldn't it? It'll just be a whoosh as it ploughs on through. Was it called HS2? Oh, it's the second major high-speed rail system that's been put in the UK. HS1 is generally known as the line that runs down to the Channel Tunnel. They've got that running from St Pancras, King's Cross St Pancras. It's now St Pancras International Station in the centre of London. Used to run out of Waterloo. They built a special terminal for the Eurostar trains there when they first set it up, because they were still boring the tunnels under, with the cutting machines under London, trying to get it into St Pancras. St Pancras had a major refit. It's quite nice there now. As a terminals hub, sort of for the railways, and splattered in the face by a fly. Eurostar, HS1, runs from St Pancras down through Kent. Ashford station is there. This bridge doesn't look very happy, does it? It's Bridge 130 on the South Oxford. Yeah, runs through Ashford in Kent down towards Folkestone, and then goes under the Channel Tunnel into France, onto Belgium. They did run special services down to Disneyland Paris, but they're in the news recently. They're cutting that service, but they have started up a service that passengers can get on at St Pancras and head off round to Amsterdam. I'd love to do that journey. That's something else I'd really like to do, just jump on a train and poodle around to Amsterdam. But at the minute, Amsterdam, there's strikes, rail strikes over there as well as over here. So when everything calms down and gets back to semi-normality, might think about doing that. Love Amsterdam. Lovely place. Just the history, the canals, just general vibe really. It's more relaxed, or seems to be more relaxed. Next time I go, it's probably going to be the hotbed of violence, but you know, at the minute it seems to be relaxed. I looked. Shouldn't look. It's fine. It's fine. Temperature is fine. Nothing to see here. There were loads of boats moored along this stretch when we came up. They've all moved on. I suppose there's nothing round here, is there? You'd have to make sure you were full of water, you had plenty of gas and plenty of provisions to sit here for 14 days. Okay, we've got another little wooden footbridge that goes across. Nothing coming. I say it's wooden, it looks like it could be steel girders at the base, wooden rails. Again on a 90-degree bend. Let me stand on my steps, see if I can see anything clearer. No, absolutely no point in doing that whatsoever. Slow up a bit as it's a blind corner. Bridge 129. Nothing coming. Okay. Lots of tree planting in that field. I don't know how well they've coped with the weather, but some of them still look a bit green, so somebody's obviously looking after some of them, or there's water source for those and not for others. Some of them look pretty dead. It's been a disaster, darling. It's been a disastrous year for tree planting, because there just hasn't been the weather, hasn't been the rain. It's probably best to plant trees around the autumn time coming into winter, because it makes them, it gives them the water and bits that they need to start growing again in the spring, and I suppose it sets the roots growing and into a foundation sort of thing for the tree for a hot summer and bits and pieces. But I'm talking complete nonsense. No, tree planting, hedge planting, you normally do in the autumn months, just so that they can get established before a hot summer. Follow us for more gardening tips on yet another garden adventure. No, we're not branching out into gardening. We have planted spinach, winter spinach. So the slugs and snails in the garden should have a good feast this winter. And the sunflowers are all right as well. They're I've been posting some pictures of them on social media recently. By the time this goes out, it'll probably be mid-spring or over Christmas or New Year sort of thing. You've been thinking, how have you got sunflowers at this time of year? No, don't forget, now is September for me. When you see this, it might be the depths of winter, bleak midwinter. Actually, I'm hoping to get these out pretty quick. I don't know whether I'm going to do the same as I've done with the Milton Keynes one and break the entire journey down into 15 minutes. The way this audio's been going as I've been coming along here, I'm going to be cutting a lot of stuff out. So I'm probably going to edit some of the journey down so that it's probably stick with 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, but not the entire journey.
Oh well.
I like showing people the entire journey because there's so much that you miss out at times, but it'll be hours. We're boating or we're cruising for a good 2, 3, 4 hours, and you break that down into 15-minute sections, and you're quadrupling your vlogs. It's nice to have something to put out. Yeah, okay. Right, we are coming round to the HS2 High Speed 2 rail construction area. I can see a digger, Caterpillar. I think, is it Caterpillar? I don't know, it could be JCB. Digger. Off in the distance. I think I said before on the journey up, I don't really know what to say about HS2 other than it's the second high-speed rail line in the country, linking London and Birmingham. Birmingham being, I suppose, it's classed as the second city in England. There were plans to extend it further up the country. I don't know. Those sections seem to have been shelved at the minute. I think everything was pre-planned before, it was all being planned before the pandemic struck. And plans were really, really rapidly changed at that point because of the amount of money that was spent on, well, getting through the pandemic. We'll have to see, we'll have to see. It will be a shame if it doesn't go to further north. It needs to go further north than Birmingham. Or other improvements need to be made to the rail infrastructure further north of Birmingham. Again, with COVID pandemic that's happened, so many people have got to work from home, and it worked. If you've got a desk-based job, you don't have to be based in an office. You can work from wherever your home is. Lots of people that own office space probably holding their heads in their hand, crying at this point because there's so much empty. Bridge 128 looking sorry for itself as ever. There is a guardrail that looks like it's been collapsed down, that normally stands up, and it's got change between metal pylons. Look where you're going, Mark. Yeah. Just you'll see it in a couple of seconds. Yeah, speechless. Just, you can, yeah, you'll see. I take it there's going to be a bridge. There's going to be a bridge here going across the canal. it just stretches off for as far as the eye can see in both directions. Well, it would do. We're between London and Birmingham, but yeah, you know what I mean. Paul and I were discussing it. It looks like there's this sort of a 50-metre wide corridor that's being used. I don't know how wide the actual tracks are going to be running up and down, whether there's just for 2 or if they're doing 4 or haven't really paid much attention to what the actual plans are, just know it's running through. So it crosses here, it crosses the Grand Union, it crosses other canals. There's been campaigns, there's been planning applications, pushback and all sorts of things, but it's going to happen, it's happening. So lots of redesigns happening.
Oh, that was a little abrupt. See you next time. Bye.